And other than that, I put everything really that can be an actual souvenir of this moment. And of course, I put it in the diary right where I tell about this moment. So, for instance, here I am telling about a day where my family and I have been to the to an amazing aquarium. And I just put these information poster about timings of daily events of the aquarium, just to remember, just to have a physical and actual memory of that. And I put everything really. This is a bag. This is a fruit shop bag I have found in an amazing museum about the history of work and jobs. And yeah, I put everything really. I put tickets of aircraft, tickets of trains, tickets of everything, every place I've entered I also keep in my diaries. This is the diary of Morocco. Of course, this cover is more French than Moroccan. This is Monet, but yeah, I just liked it. And sometimes I also keep in my diaries, as you see, train tickets. And what I wanted to show you is I keep addresses of people I have met there, which I not always keep in touch with, but yeah, I like to keep them. I could just write on the page with glue or something my airplane ticket and addresses of friends I have made there. I always ask friends to write their addresses directly in the diary. And yeah, that's it. Sometimes I also write down all the little souvenirs I buy for my friends, or the friends I want or I have sent my postcards to. After that, there's really not much you need to follow in order to write a diary. It depends really whether you're writing a diary for yourself, or maybe to let your friends read it, or if you're writing a diary in order to publish it maybe on an internet traveler's website, and try to help other travelers to find their way in the same country or trip you have made, and try to give them useful information. I think those are really two different kind of diaries. The kind of diary I personally write is sentimental. I write about the feelings that places give me. I write about personal things, and always travel related. And I am not. In fact, sometimes I even forgot to write, informations, but I just write, oh, it was amazing, and stuff like that. Some people write a lot, like me. Some people don't like to write a lot. What I suggest doing, this is something I do when I really don't have time to write everything. is you should at least write a list of the main things you have done in this amount of time. So, as I was telling you, I used to write every day, or at least try to write every day. So, the days I couldn't write, I tried to list the interesting things that I did. Lately, I have been writing not every day, but dividing the diary, which is very important to do. Divide the diary in order to, just take a look of that at home and remember, and immediately find the place or the moment you're looking for. So lately I have been writing per week, or better said, per period. So every time we change place and we go from place to another, I write a new chapter of my diary. So I will have a chapter about the first place I visited, a chapter about the second place I visited, etc. And doesn't matter if I stay 1 week in a place and just 2 days in another. Maybe I will find out that I have to write more pages about the 2 days place because it was more interesting than the 7 days one. So yeah, I try to divide this way. So I don't feel the pressure of writing every day, which is something that really sometimes I find heavy when I have the world to discover. And but I will still have this impression of everything I did. You don't have to worry if you are not able to finish your diary and if you are not able to capture it all. Most of the time, I'm not. And most of the time, I write everything at the beginning of the trip, and then you just have blank pages for the last days. This is a pity, really. Sometimes I tell myself, okay, I will finish to write that just when I arrive home because I will still remember it. But then I never do because you just have to unpack and stuff like that. And it's really not so useful to write it after a while because some people do, but I find that the magical of the moment is gone. So you will not be able to write down and to really express your emotions that way. Just really, really quickly before we have talked about the ones who want to write a diary for other people. So, for instance, to publish it on the internet to let other travelers be informed. I suggest that this is something that you can do later. You can do that when you come back home, and you can do that on a second instance. Before, you can just write your own diary, your own personal diary, just very spontaneously, and then start from that when you're at home, very calm, and you have an overview of what you did, and try to fix it and write it down in a correct way, in a beautiful way, and to transform it into an information diary. You can have this in mind when you travel, so maybe you can just try to remember and write down the names of the hotels you have liked, for instance. But yeah, I suggest this to be something you do afterwards. I don't recommend, I have tried that too, that you write a live diary in your blog or in your website when you like where you like to tell people about your trips. I have tried once when I was in Edinburgh to write a live diary in my blog. This is in English, by the way, and I will link it to you so you can go check it. And you will find that I have failed. I just really couldn't write it all, just because of the reason I have told you before, which is that you really have a lot to do when you're there, and at the end you're tired and you cannot really keep it up with this. I wanted to write a live diary every night, every single night, and I just wrote for maybe a half of the nights and then I gave it up, and that's a pity. So I suggest that you just write for yourself, so it doesn't matter if it's written properly or not, and afterwards you publish it. So I think this is it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
So, why is writing a travel diary useful? I think it's very useful because it helps you keep and maintain your souvenirs in your head, the memories of the things you have done. Once you write them down, it becomes stronger in your head because you need to rethink them and you need to rationalize them and logically think how you can explain them and write them down. It is also very useful because writing them, all the emotions come out once again, and you will be able to maintain these emotions inside you even more. Also, when you reread your diaries, all those emotions will come back, and you will immediately be captured by the same feelings that you had while you were there, and immediately all the images will come in your mind and you will be able to sort of live again this trip you have made. I always kind of travel again when I read my diaries and when I write them down for my blog. Writing a travel diary, it's also useful for the ones who plan to tell people at home about their trips. They are really useful as handbooks, let's say, when it comes to tell other people about what you did, and you of course want to remember everything correctly. You want to remember places, names, you want to remember the order and timing in which you did certain things, and this is not always the case, so a diary will be very useful in these occasions. Also, a travel diary, of course, is useful just as a personal diary, so it really helps you elaborate feelings. It really helps you rethink of what happened. It really helps you to analyze your emotions, and so I think that for what I do with my travelers, which is, as I told you, the research for well-being and inner self and inner balance through traveling, diaries are really useful because just as personal diaries, travel diaries help you to analyze yourself, to take out what you have inside. They help you to see yourself from outside, and they really are helpful in order to try and change your feelings and your situation.